All right, I think we're here. Let me know. Let me know if you're coming on live, if you're coming on the replay. Welcome to today's live specialty training, 10 ways to eat more and weigh less. Is that not like the perfect scenario? Is to eat more, but weigh less. Awesome, awesome. Welcome if you're joining. Let me know. I'm going to pull up my phone just so we know and we're all together. I tried this a few times, and I think because I posted this in Facebook, is that you did not come on in the Zoom. So we're going to be actually transitioning this probably starting next week, but I'll let you know in advance. Look for a midweek question to ask about a live training. I get lots of questions asked, a lot of the same questions asked, and a lot of them obviously pertaining to weight loss and fitness, nutrition, motivation, exercise habits, exercise technique. I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't have all the answers, but I have a lot of them, a lot of experience, and I want to share as much value as I can going into the holiday season. Speaking of value, I wanted to also let you know, if you haven't downloaded it yet, I have this awesome holiday, I'm sorry, I actually pulled up the wrong thing. Holiday survival guide. I have lots of really, really awesome things going on. I have a holiday survival guide. If you want that, let me know. Shoot me a private message. You'll see I've actually shared a few of the recipes from the survival guide. And before I get started in the 10 ways to eat more and weigh less, I just want to tell you what's in there to help you not just, hold on, we got some sun shining in. That's pretty par for the course here in Florida. Thank goodness we have some sun. It's nice and beautiful out. I hope you're enjoying maybe some coffee out on the back porch if you're catching this later before the football game start. And I want to jump in right away just to share this with you. As I had mentioned, the survival guide, I have a holiday survival guide. Not only is it filled with delicious recipes to help you stay on track, but also you can enjoy and feel like you're not missing out. But there's also a 30-day workout challenge in there as well. Super easy to do. You have your family jump in, provide there's no injuries. They're able to do it. There's a 30-day workout challenge. And I also have in there as well a 30-day spiritual guide to help you guide in your spirit and to help with your faith walk and your journey. If you're a man or woman of faith, if not, you can check it out as well too. And then there's also some useful tips in this guide. It is jam-packed. Make sure you get it. It's free. I'm giving it away for free. I actually put it together for my coaching students, and they're already on a really great program. They have accountability, they have structure, they have a plan in place to help them. And I wanted to give them something extra. So for them, it's not quite a survival guide. For you, it may be. You may not be on a plan. You may not have structure. You may not have accountability, but at least this will be able to help you through the holidays. And now, obviously, if you want something more specific, you and I can have a conversation. We can see if we're a good fit to work together, and then we can take it from there. But for now, make sure you get that. But starting out, let's jump into the 10 ways that you can, let me just pull this up in case, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat as I'm doing this live, and I'll do my best after to answer. Give me the like, the thumbs up, the high fives if you want. Make sure that I see that you're present. It also helps with Facebook. It shows it to other people. And again, I want this to be shown to as many people as possible who may need this help. Eating more, 10 ways to eat more and weigh less. Let's jump right in. Number one, the first important thing before I even get to number one is think about the food that goes in your stomach, right? Think about your stomach as like a balloon, and the certain things you put in to your stomach will fill up the balloon, but at a certain time, then it's gonna, you can't fill it up anymore, or it will pop, right? That's essentially what happens, is you fill it up until it's completely full, and if you fill it more, it's pop. Fortunately, our stomachs don't do that, but they let us know that we're full. So in general, generally speaking, when it comes to weight loss, or it comes to eating, when it comes to diet and weight loss, we're not talking about necessarily burning calories and exercise right now. We're just talking about food, is the volume of the food. You want a high volume of food that has low calories, if you will. So if you think about something like as simple as vegetables, right? You hear people say, eat your veggies, eat your veggies. Well, they're good for you, have good nutrients, right? They're helpful, they have lots of fiber, super helpful in your diet. Yes, that's true, but also veggies take up space in your stomach. So number one, we'll jump right into, because that kind of leads off into the top 10 ways to help you eat more and lose and weigh less. So weigh less meaning lose weight, or at least keep your body in a healthy rate, a healthy weight that you can maintain. So we want to first crowd your plate, number one. And I'm going to put this in after. I'll label, I actually have 30 ways. There's probably 300. I know for there's probably 3,000, but I looked at it and I kind of cut it down to 30. I may do the 3-part series on this. If you like this one, I'll share with you maybe another 10 ways, and then another 10 ways. We can do a 3-part series in the 30 ways total. But for today, we're just going to start with the first 10, and then we'll see how we do. Number one, crowd your plate. When you have a plate, crowd it. And I say crowd it with the vegetables, crowd it with the things that are high volume, that are going to take up a lot of space. Now, you think of like dressings. Why do we get in trouble with dressings? We get in trouble with dressings because like dressing over the salads and some of the other things that like just are high caloric dense. They don't take up a lot of space, but they have a lot of calories, and dressing is one of them. Because you can have a whole salad, right? That's maybe 200 calories, and then you can put a little bit of dressing in, and that's another 200 or 300 calories. That makes sense? Takes up a lot less space in your body. So crowd your plate. First, when you have a plate of food, do yourself a favor. If you go out, if you're going to a restaurant, think about it. Say, I want a big plate of veggies, and you can put a piece of fish over top of it, right? Or you could put some protein, even if you have some croutons and so forth, and then maybe be just real extra careful. But crowd your plate. Make sure you have lots of vegetables, lots of greens, lots of fibrous-rich foods that are on there. That's number one. Look for volume. Like I had mentioned, volume, right? We want volume. And here's an easy way. Let's talk snack foods for a moment, talking about volume. Now, popcorn, I'm like, oh no, popcorn's not good for you. Well, if you're looking at just volume-wise, look at what the calorie content in 6 cups of air pop popcorn compared to 1 cup of just like regular potato chips. If you look calorie, now you know when it comes to weight loss, it's calorie deficit. So, right, you've been taught that by me. You should know this by now. Calories in, calories out. Yes, it's very true, right? But here's the problem. Why do we get so hungry? Why do people have all these snacky, I'm hungry? Because you're not satisfied. You're not filling your stomach. So one of the ways, think with snack food, look for high volume foods that have low calories. Popcorn in a snack food, if example, versus a cup of chips. Calorie for calorie, 1 cup is about equivalent to 6 cups of air pop popcorn. You have 6 times as much snacks. If you have the air pop popcorn, I'm talking about not like the kind with all the sugar and all the salt and all the butter and all that stuff. I'm talking not from like the movie theater popcorn. I'm not talking just air pop popcorn, 6 cups versus the 1 cup of chips. So what happens? We tend to think, oh, we can have 6 cups of popcorn. We can have 6 cups of chips. And guess what? Then you're getting 6 times the amount of calories. So you want to weigh less, look at things that are going to fill you up, that are actually also lower on the calorie scale. So number 3, eat more hydrating foods, right? If you eat things that have more water in them, they're going to sustain you longer, right? They say, oh, drinking water will help curb your appetite. Yes, but you can also have that from your food. So you want to look for hydrating foods. And I just want to give you another example for this. Think of fruit. Think of like watermelon has a lot of water, right? If you ever to like press a watermelon and like squeeze it out, there's lots of juice. You eat it, gets all over your beard and what have you. So watermelon, strawberries are great. A lot of fruits are great. And you're like, Mark, no, fruit has sugar in there. I can't have sugar. Fruit has sugar in there. Well, I have yet to meet a single person who's overweight and obese because they ate too much fruit. Sorry, that's just never happened. I haven't seen that before. So watermelon, strawberry, cantaloupe is another example. Make sure you're eating plenty of fruit that has high amounts of water, right? So they're hydrated. The problem is a lot of times, well, can I just eat dried fruit? Well, think about what they do to dried fruit. They take out all the water. They take out all the goodness. And then actually, because it's so small, look at like a dried, dried apple and the amount of space that takes up. Well, you can eat probably 3 or 4 apples, dried apples. And again, calorie for calorie, that's going to take up the same amount or take up a lot more space with all those dried apples, are a lot less space, but you can eat more of those dried apples when it's going to be more calorie dense. Does that make sense? So again, you shrink it down, then you can eat more, you can put more in your stomach, and then that's not going to serve you well. So be very careful, because all those dried fruits you end up eating, and there's a lot of extra sugar because you're just popping them in your mouth versus like actually eating. The crunch part I'm going to come to, that comes down the road. The next one, eat more snacks. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because I know I've actually even encouraged people not to snack. but I'm going to actually tell you to snack. And I say that in some of my coaching clients, they just don't do well with snacks. So I want to share with you, why is snacking actually really helpful? And why can it actually be something that can work to help you weigh less? Well, what is snack? Why do you snack in the first place? Well, maybe it's related to the foods that you're eating, right? That are very dense in calories, but don't take up a lot of space. So you leave your stomach hungry, and then you want to snack more. And then guess what? You go after those bag of chips. You go after more of the things that don't take up much space. You keep eating and eating, and eating, and then you end up in a calorie overload, and that's what keeps you from losing the weight. But if you eat more snacks, here's what I do. And I'm talking healthy snacks, obviously, right? I'm not saying eating more chips. I'm saying take more snacks, have more healthy choices, apple, a little bit of peanut butter in there. What that does is helps prevent you from binging on food. One of the things I hear people all the time do is like, well, like holidays, perfect example, as we're coming up on the holidays, well, I'm just gonna not eat breakfast and not eat lunch, and then I'll reserve on the calories, and then I'll eat a huge meal. I'll make that my big meal. The problem with that is you're going to binge, and the problem with that, chances are you're going to end up probably eating more than you actually would have probably done if you ate a normal healthy breakfast and a normal healthy lunch, and then you had dinner, say as Thanksgiving, and then you wouldn't have gone as much overboard on that respect. So snacking is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what you choose to snack. And it can actually really, really help you as far as from binging. So just keep that in mind. That's eating more snacks. Now, here's another one. I don't have the book. I meant to grab it. But I have a colleague of mine who actually, the next one, number 5, I'll post all 7 or all 10 of those in a moment once I'm done here. But the 5th one, or 5 out of 10 so far, is to eat after 7. Eat at 8, eat at 9. Honestly, to be honest with you, eating after a certain time, I used to be all about like, hey, you have to eat early and don't eat after a certain time, but I've actually been proven wrong. In fact, I've even seen in the research, the reality is eating after 7 is not necessarily a bad deal. In fact, some people I've found have actually in practical settings, I've had many clients over the years that said, it's part of my lifestyle. I have to eat, my schedule, my work schedule. I eat at 8 o'clock. I eat at 9 o'clock. I had a gentleman recently tell me about eating. And the problem is not so much at eating that time, it's what you're choosing to eat at that time where you're getting in trouble. So the time that you eat really doesn't matter so much. Yes, breakfast is a very important for your day, and you go again without food. And I know the intermittent fasting is a very, very hot topic now. And people say, oh, well, I'll just fast from here to here and only eat from here to here. At the end of the day, it still comes down to calorie deficit, right? If you're just not eating as much, and you can train your body. I don't think, and to be completely honest, in my opinion, and also I think intermittent fasting is not a bad thing if it works for you. But again, some people it works to eat 1 or 2 or 3, or sometimes people enjoy 5 meals a day. So with that, eating after 7 p.m., I was saying I had a colleague who put together a book. It's called Eat After 7 p.m. And it actually dispels all the myths of why it's not a big deal to eat after. Again, it comes down to calories in, calories out. Now we're talking about how to eat more. How can I eat more and still weigh less? Well, these things, the hydration in your foods, looking for high volume foods that are lower in calories, eating after a certain time is not a bad thing. So provided that you are choosing the right foods to eat. And again, actually, you can find that your sleep is a little bit better at night, eating after 7. You're satisfied. You maybe won't wake up with those hunger pangs. So just keep that in mind. Another thing for hunger pangs, which is number 6, is eating breakfast. Now, I told you, again, what I like about breakfast is it does help regulate your blood sugar levels after just kind of in the evenings and you wake up. And I know people like, oh, well, I'd like to fast in the morning. That's cool. You can do that. There's no like right or wrong or black or white. It does come down to what your body is going to work in your lifestyle, right? You don't want to have to change your lifestyle just because you need to and want to lose some weight, but to lose it more, to eat more and weigh less, it's not a bad thing to eat breakfast. In fact, I actually believe it's a helpful thing to help regulate your body throughout the day. Number 7. Now, we kind of talked about this, but we're going to talk it in another sense with fruit. Now, what is a challenging thing? Sweets, right? One of the things that comes up is sweets. Like I get in trouble with sweets. So swap out the sweets for the fruit. And you're like, oh, but Mark, there's fruit in there. It's a natural source. The fructose is a natural source. It's actually not a bad thing. And then think of the hydration you're getting in the good fruits. Think of the fiber that you're getting and the nutrients that you're getting in those fruits and vegetables as well. I went into vegetables, but mainly just talking about fruits. Those are really helpful. Fruit is not a bad thing for you. Just got to get that out of your mind right now. There's definitely ways to go about it. If you're going to, dip it in chocolate or like those candied apples, then you can definitely get in trouble. But just talking about sweets, if you want to satisfy your sweet tooth, is have some fruit. It's not the end of the world. But again, be careful on the calories. You still have to watch that. But I love that. That's another way to eat more. You could eat more fruit than you can. Think about like one banana versus like one piece of chocolate, the amount, the size, the calorie density of the two of those is going to fill your stomach more, one banana versus one little tiny piece of chocolate. Although I like chocolate and I'm not giving that up. So number 8, this is a straightforward one to help you eating more and weighing less, is to basically turn your sandwiches into salads. Literally like take the bread off of your sandwich and just turn it into a salad. Like you could do what do they call it? There's a couple of, they actually even marketed it really, really well, where they're like unwitches or something. Instead of a sandwich is like without the bread, or you may do like a lettuce wrap or something to that effect. That's another great option. Again, you can have those delicious foods and you probably can eat more. Think about what 2 pieces of like regular bread, 200-300 calories maybe in there, versus having like a little bit more of the meat and the protein that's a little bit better for you anyway. So that is another option. 2 more to go. So, spinach. Here's a really, really cool thing. I actually found recently this research study, and I think it was from, Journal Appetite. And they found a specific compound that's in the actual spinach. And I believe it's in the leaves or in the membrane of the leaves, that there's actually a powerful appetite suppressant in there. So it's interesting because I know when I eat spinach, right? Eat your spinach, get nice and strong, eat your spinach, is that spinach is really good for you. We blend it up, mix it in a shake. But what I've noticed, and maybe it's just, maybe it's a placebo effect for me when I'm thinking about it. But after reading this journal, it does make sense, because anytime I put spinach in a shake, it really fills me up. It has good fiber in there. The spinach, it just, blends really easy. You don't really taste it that much. I put it in my my omelets, but I tend to be really full. Like if I were to eat a 2-egg omelet, I can eat it. If I were to put a 2-egg omelet and then saute a little spinach, stick that in it, I tend to be fuller longer. And it's interesting that I found this study that talked about, and they actually did a study with women. I think it was a 3-month study. And they said the women that had spinach versus the ones that didn't, they actually lost 5.5 pounds more in that study, which is pretty cool. And I think part of it, they're talking about this membrane they found in spinach leaves. So hey, here, if you didn't know anything, if this one thing you get is eat more spinach, good for you there. So last, this is number 10, this last one, it kind of goes back to your food. And, one of the things I get caught up in doing it too, you get busy, you're running around, you throw down a shake, like a protein shake. The problem is that you drink it really quick, right? You think about how much time it takes to suck down a protein shake after workout or while you're on the go, versus to actually sit down and have a nice salad. And the start crunching. Number 10 is to start crunching more. What's really cool about that I've learned over time too, is when you're actually crunching, let's just say for carrots, like you're starting to crunch carrots, or you're starting to, say you sit down and eat a salad, and you have to chew it, and they tell you to chew slowly and eat slowly, right? Well, you're chewing part. Well, what that does is it gives your mind a chance to register that you're eating and that it's starting to get full. The problem if you drink a shake, right, like you suck it down, it doesn't take up that much space, but it also doesn't give your mind a chance to regulate. And then guess what? You're already onward into your day. You're not thinking about food. So that's something that you can think about when you're eating, is to crunch. Of course, right? Eat slowly will help you as well. You can eat more. And I would say I guess you're like, well, how's that eating more and weighing less? Well, the thing is, you get fuller, right? You'll feel fuller. When you feel fuller, it's like, oh, I felt like I ate more. The problem a lot of times is we tend to eat on the go, this is kind of the extra one, number 11 is, and I didn't even plan on doing 11, is when you just eat and you're not thinking about food, your mind's not thinking about it, and you tend to overeat, right? It's going back to that popcorn example. I tell people, try to buy a big, like go to the movie theater. This is an easy, like little home test you can do. So the big giant buckets of popcorn, I don't know if movie theaters even exist anymore with this kind of state of the world, but I think they're actually closing down. It's sad. But I would say is, if you can go there and get that big monster bucket of popcorn that you can easily eat throughout a movie, take that bucket of popcorn home, or maybe get it filled up, take it home, and and don't do anything. Bring it to your kitchen table and try to eat that whole big bucket of popcorn. Chances are you wouldn't be able to eat. And I'm talking about the buttery popcorn that's all loaded in fat and calories and all that stuff, right? All tastes so good. But I would say is try to eat that. Now, yes, you're crunching, but I bet you wouldn't be able to eat that as far as the whole bucket of it versus when you're just looking at a movie and you're not focused on your food. So number 11 being kind of the bonus one is to focus on your eating. You'll be able to, now it's saying, well, Mark, you said like 10 ways to eat more and weigh less. Well, yes, I'm telling you that you eat the right foods, you put in the right things in your body, and you will be able to eat more and weigh less. So I hope this helped. If you have any questions or comments, let's see if there's any in there. And if not, if you catch this on the replay and you ask me later and you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm going to be moving this into our free Facebook group, our Bulletproof Facebook group. And that's something that is fairly new that we are going to be making a shift in doing the trainings. Because I know if you're just on your Facebook and you don't want to be a part of the fitness part, but you want to still stay connected to me, that's cool. I understand that. We're going to be moving a lot of our fitness stuff over into this group. If you want an invite to that, again, it is by invite. I'm not letting every single person in. You do need to be a good fit for the programs. A couple questions to ask. But if you want to get in there and learn more and get helpful tips and be in an awesome community of other like-minded people who are all trying to pursue their absolute best, moms and dads over 40 who are wanting to get bulletproof, reach out to me and I'll send you an invite. That's all I have. Take care. Have an awesome, awesome day. See ya.